Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guest again. I think the third time you've come, at least the second time. No, at least the third time, maybe the fourth time. I forget if we ever managed to get together for Death Stalker. I know you didn't come with Tim Seeley, but I forget if you came back on your own. But that all doesn't matter. It's Jim Terry back on 22 Panels, and always a blast to talk to him. This time we'll talk some comics, but we get to talk. You made a movie which is like just super cool. So, like, I know my thoughts on the movie, but I'm gonna let you sell it first.
Okay. Hey, I have a question I should have asked you before. Is this video compatible too? Can people see me?
No, right now I just published the audio. If you want me to
Okay.
publish the video, I can.
No,
But
no, no. I'm
but
I'm
yeah.
okay. That means I don't have to put on clothes. It's okay. It's fine. Um,
Okay. For the
I'll,
record, Jim is wearing a shirt.
okay. So yeah, I made a movie. It's a feature-length film. It's called Shank. It's ridiculous. We made it on nothing, and I'm exhausted. But it was an awesome time making it, and that was a whole thing. As I've said in the past, uh, not to get into anything deep, but things have kind of sucked here and there. And I was starting.
What? In the
Uh,
United States now?
well, you're talking to an indigenous man, so I have a
I
different
know.
viewpoint on that. But
Oh, you mean forever?
yeah, yeah. Oh, hey. Uh, at any rate, um, I was doing comics and I was starting to get burned out, and I realized that I was isolating a lot, and I needed to be with my friends. So I started compiling some ideas and getting friends together and shooting scenes here and there based around this idea, and just letting it kind of grow into something. And mainly it was to be with community, to
Right.
be with my buddies and get people together and make something fun and be creative with them. So, we can look back on this shitty year. So, can I swear?
Oh
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. So we can look back on this year and be like, okay, well, we made something. We made something.
Cool.
We didn't just let it all just kind of beat us down. We went out there and we made something fun and hopefully put some smiles on some people's faces because you know uh, hopefully you can feel the community in this movie.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so it was heavily improvised in the beginning. It was mostly improvised. And then about halfway through, I was like, oh, I better start tying this up. So I started writing some stuff. So the second half is a little tighter, but um, yeah, and we made it for peanuts. Who we'll shoot at this person's house. We'll steal some outside footage and guerrilla style it, and just make it in spite of everything. And
Right.
and just with that idea of being completely free and letting creativity sort of dominate the vibe of it, not trying to make it anything that it couldn't be. Just letting it
Right.
exist in strictly.
Well, and that to me is one of the greatest beauties of the movie is that it knows what it is. It's not trying. No, like we talk a lot about great movies. We talk a lot about popcorn movies. Movies that are so bad that they're good, that sort of thing. And it's hard to categorize this movie because I think some people would put it in the so bad that it's good category. I don't quite agree with
Who
that
who
because,
are the people?
well, I don't agree with that because I think like it's more that it understands its limitations and laughs at those while leaning into its strengths. I mean, the first thing I noticed was like, oh, we don't have hardcore choreography and Keanu Reeves to do martial arts. So we're gonna make up for it with sound effects, and it's awesome.
Yeah, there are no wide angle. uninterrupted 3-minute fight scenes in this. If they
Right.
were, they would be the most boring ones you've ever seen. So, yeah,
Right.
a lot
Right.
of editing tricks and sound effects,
Right.
camera
I
work.
think what my son and I agreed on as our personal tagline for it after we saw it at the Goodman was if El Mariachi and Clerks had a baby or a demon baby, its name would be Shank.
Well, I saw those two movies the same weekend.
Believe
Uh,
you.
yeah, Clerks and
There.
El Mariachi and Hard Boiled. I saw those three movies
Okay.
in the same weekend at a film fest in Kansas City, Kansas, and talk about like a whole new world opening up when
All
those.
right. I was about to say, did the original Shank trailer come the next weekend? Because I mean, it feels like feels like a lot of synergy there.
Well, yeah, I would probably say it's genuinely more mariachi than Clerks.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not super wordy. Uh,
No, but the wordy is humorous, and the cast is friends.
yeah, 1,000% with that. It's
Right.
everybody knows each other, and you can probably feel that sort of casual acquaintancy underneath the surface of everything. We're all just having
Right.
and
Yeah, I
be
mean, it feels like you're trying to make each other laugh and
that's
but like in a
exactly
good way.
that's exactly what it is. We're
Yeah.
sitting around and okay, what's funnier than that? Or somebody's
Right.
ridiculous. Oh, let's put that in there. And I know I'm fortunate to have a lot of very creative and very funny friends. And
Right.
Steve, who plays Shank, I've known him since I was 6 years old. We're more like brothers. And he's so different from me. He is such a different human being than I am, and so we work well in that way because he's wry and sardonic and and kind of unfazed, and
Right.
I'm the opposite of all those things. I'm all over the place. And so
Right.
channel channeling those kinds of conflicting energies has always been fun. And Steve has been in the very first movies I made back in the '90s, early
Okay.
'90s. Yeah.
So you mean like the
Well,
the the DVD extra stuff that we'll get when we get the Shank Criterion collection?
when Criterion finally knocks on my door for the Shank Super Edition, yeah, well, maybe
Right.
we'll throw some of those early films in there.
Um, I reread Paper Cuts this morning, and as I was reading Paper Cuts and thinking of Shank, and then thinking back, and then thinking back to Come Home Indio, I mean, it seems like you've been on kind of a hell of a journey for the last 5 to 10 years, of rediscovering yourself, deciding what things you want to learn about and know about and represent, and when you just have too much energy. I think in particular in Paper Cuts, when it got to the page where it's like I have to know all of these things and it's just too hard, and then you go to the page where it's like, okay, I'm just going to sit by a tree for a while. I'm like, in some ways I wonder if like Shank was that for you. It's like I've been doing all of this stuff, now I'm just going to go laugh for a little while. I
That's
need to do
that's it
something
precisely.
different.
Yeah, it's exactly what Shank is. It's exactly what I hope Shank could be for other people. Just a fun time, and just breathe for a little while and have a laugh and it's as I think you said, it's not entirely void of meaning.
Oh
I
no.
there are things I'm trying to say in that movie eventually, but for the most part, I love trashy movies.
Right.
This movie was made in the vein of well, we'll say mariachi, but also like uh, Japanese exploitation movies from the early '70s,
Right.
uh,
Right.
Hong Kong movies from the '80s, Italian
Right.
from the 70s and 80s, that kind of
Hmm.
freewheeling, anything can happen. Okay, it doesn't look great, but it gets the point across, or, that effect is so bad, but we're just going to do it anyway, you know,
Right.
dragging the little clown into the weeds on a fishing line. Everybody knows how we did it, but
Right.
you speed it up and you put a creepy laugh and out over it, and suddenly it's silly enough
It works.
to buy it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And like that's the other thing that I thought, like it's not exactly what is laid out in the movie, but kind of the when I put the three works together, I got, oh, like kind of like Shank spends his whole life kind of going after this thing, but also realizing that he didn't actually go after it as hard as he could have, and then goes, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should do something else. Like that it seems like the movie kind of represents your journey right now, where it's like you've learned a lot of stuff and you know that you want to use that stuff, but you also want to be, and I'm playing armchair psychiatrist, so like kick me if I say anything rude, offensive, or wrong. But you're also finding that balance of, it's great that I've gotten in touch with the side of me. It's great that people now look at me as an indigenous artist, not just the guy that did The Crow. Um, but also I want to make a trashy kung
yeah,
fu demon movie and have it mean something. But really, like the huge takeaway is like, don't take life too seriously, but also have meaning. And it feels like those are different things, but so often they're not. So often people live very serious lives that if you step back even 10 feet, much less 10,000 feet, are all but devoid of meaning. Whereas you can have a less serious life and still always do the next right thing.
yeah.
you know
I don't think those things can't exist in the same universe. Absolutely, that's how I try to be. I mean, if you know me, I have a joke. I like to laugh. I love to laugh. I think about serious things, and I have my endeavors into furthering my knowledge and trying to do whatever small part I can for as far as like awareness and activism, and those things are important to me. But it can't be all that I am, or I'll perish. You know, I ha-
Explode.
I have to
You
have
have a little clown come out of your belly.
yeah, I have to laugh. It's an indigenous thing. Uh, there's serious stuff, but you have to puncture that balloon with a laugh once in a while. If you watch Res Dogs, they're excellent reservation dogs.
Yeah.
They're excellent at that, threading the line between pathos and humor. And okay, I'm going to hit you with some hard truths now, and I'm gonna take you on this emotional journey, and we're gonna go through the weeds. But at the end of it, I'm gonna pat you on the back, and I'm gonna tell you a joke, and we'll both laugh, and we'll have that feeling together. That sort of
Right.
exhalation. And I don't think those. I think that is a. I do think that's a very indigenous way of teaching, and an indigenous way of existing. And
Right.
that has been my experience, at least, and the experience of many, 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 many other natives that I know is, yeah, you have to laugh. We got to laugh at some of this stuff, and for what the 250-year anniversary right around the corner, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to laugh at that about that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so do extending that into my work, there are places where I can be really silly, like in a movie like Shank, And there's other places where it's like, okay, let's just encourage some self care, because
Right.
we all need it, and even in peaceful times, we need self care, and so and reminding myself and hopefully anybody who's reading my work that that stuff is important as well, because you're not told that stuff, or at least my generation was not told to take care of yourself in that way.
Oh God, no.
It was,
We still
tough
don't do a
out.
very good job of it, but like
No, I mean,
when you and I were
52,
kids and before that, oh no.
I'm 52, and I'm just learning that, hey, if something's going to be heavy, I'm going to have a game plan for afterwards so that I can be okay, and I didn't know that stuff, this is all
Yeah.
things that I'm learning. So,
I'm 46 and I've been in therapy for 35 of those years, and I'm still not
wow,
good at that. And I'm still
man,
not good at that. I'm still working on, okay.
has it
And,
worked
and
at all for you?
it does. It works a ton for me. It
I'm
works a ton for
kidding.
me. I'm also autistic and bipolar and have PTSD. So, I got all sorts of stuff going on to work with.
You got some things. Yeah, yeah,
Actually, the hardest thing for me was realizing that I also have to plan how to handle the highs. Like I have a lot of great interviews this week, and it's like
yeah.
I know I'm going to crash. I have to figure out how to handle
A
the
thousand
the the
percent.
come downs.
That's the thing that's the thing that I tell that I talk to with other artists and creatives as well, because when I finish something that I've been working on for a great deal of time, putting a lot of effort into, when it's done, I have an existential crisis every time. So
Right.
there's something to be said about either A, having a plan for when it's done, for how you're going to congratulate yourself, or how you're going to celebrate, and whatever it is, or B,
Hmm.
I always need to have something else ready to go to,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
I finished Shank. Um, I started working on the novel that I was writing, and
Oh, you're doing a novel now. You're going all mediums.
I'm telling you, man, why not?
I
So
love it.
I wrote a
I
novel.
mean, hopefully one day you'll remember that comics are the greatest medium, but
I will certainly
I'm
remember
all for.
comics are the hardest medium.
Okay, that's fair too.
Yeah, like I said, I got a little toasted doing comics,
Yeah.
because it is the most it is the most work intensive
Yeah.
medium for me. Sitting down and drawing 22 pages a month takes its toll
Yeah.
in a way that,
Yeah.
and it's isolating too. I
Yeah.
can't work around other people. I try to, and I just get distracted. So
Yeah.
it forces me to be in an isolated state, and
Right.
and that takes its toll as well. So comics for me is the hardest medium. It
Yeah.
also, the rewards are all different for everything, I'm sure
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
a musician or somebody who performs in theater gets that immediate gratification, that immediate response. And I experienced that a little bit with Shank when I played in the theater. You know, um, Hearing the audience respond, that's an incredible high. That was really a profoundly moving thing to hear people laughing at this ridiculous, stuff that, for all I knew, nobody would think was funny except us, the people who made it.
I thought it was funny. I
Yeah,
brought a group the last time and they all liked it. So
yeah.
like
Well,
they're and they didn't have the same reason to like it. Like I know you and I like you, so like I came in primed to like it.
yeah.
I think my
Well,
son kind of knows who you are. My friend Johnny knows that you work in comics. My friend Aaron doesn't care that you work in comics and is a film nerd
mm,
and liked
well,
it.
I've been a film
So,
buff my entire life of
right,
every way, shape, and form of movie, and so
right.
I think I think that if you're a film lover and you watch Shank, you're going to see that a film lover made this movie. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, it also, I mean, one of the reasons that I hope so much that it gets wider um distribution, I guess, is probably the best word, but just is seen by more people is one of the things about movies in general that's frustrated me lately is like it seems like nobody wants to make a sub $100 million movie.
We made a sub $100 movie.
Right, and that's my point. You can make great movies that don't cost $100 million, and I think we're winding up getting a just a like just to use the comics term, it's movies are, and some people will even like the genre aspect. Movies are becoming just superhero comics, and even if they're not just superhero movies, like they're too much becoming just blockbuster fare.
Yeah,
They're like
well,
even in
that,
my lifetime, there were times where there were lots of like 10 and $15 million movies where half of it was going to the actors. You,
that I mean
you
that's
know,
that's been true in the past, and there is a
right.
bubble that broke. I mean, if you look at the studio system in the late '60s, the bloated stuff that they were putting out at that time, nobody remembers that now, and they're not great
Oh
movies.
yeah. Nope.
But because of that, the studio system fell apart, and then suddenly all these auteurs were showing up, right? And not all of them had big budgets. I mean, Roger Corman
No.
was responsible for jump starting the careers of half of the people we respect and admire today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They were doing it on peanuts, and
Right.
uh, and so all the blockbusters that's just how it is right now,
Uh,
and the bubble will break, and
but
there are,
part of what will break the bubble is movies like Shank actually breaking through.
well, that would be great. There are also
That's what I'm saying. And I'm certain there are other ones out there. Like I hope that every city has their version of Shank. Like
yeah, yeah, that'd be wild. Then they can
and
all
yeah. And that like it's just that I don't live in Seattle, so I don't know what the Seattle version of Shank is.
look. Let me
Or whatever.
right now. There's only one Shank, baby.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay.
There can only be
Um,
one Shank.
I mean, it is. I don't like. It's a movie that has to be seen to completely understand how fun it is.
Yeah.
Because like almost any of the ways that you can use words about it don't make it sound as good as it is.
Well,
Unless you're talking to the type of person who knows, right? Like the first person I wound up to on the podcast after seeing Shank the first time was David Walker, who was a film reviewer for long before he was a comic writer. So, he's written 10,000 movie reviews. And when I started talking about Shank, he immediately knew what I was talking about. And it's like, oh, that sounds like a fantastic movie.
well,
Um,
what is most wonderfully surprising to me is that looking back, it feels effortless. It felt like
yeah,
it was effortless, although I put many, 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 as you can imagine,
right.
hundreds, if not thousands, of hours into making this thing. But looking back, it was all relaxation to me. It was all very relaxing to work on that movie. Even doing sound design and I did pretty much everything that was behind the scenes. And
Yeah, your music was really good, even if you want to put somebody else's name on it.
I just get tired of seeing my name. I was like,
That's fair. That's fair. But like, if you want to put out an album, you probably could. You could
what
be
I
the
did
absolute.
had, yeah.
You could
I
go EGOT, man. Now just write a play.
I have too many I have too many things on the stove already. I'm gonna burn one of them.
I
But
mean, I know that you're doing some set design work.
how did you know that?
Well, because Mark Prott is a regular on 22 Panels. He's
Oh,
part of the Pulp Blotter book club that I tried to get you to join.
oh, yeah, yeah. In fact, that's what I'm gonna work on today as soon as I'm done with this.
Well, then you can tell it, if you're late or anything like that, just blame me. Um,
Okay.
I mean, because literally, Mark. wanted to come to both of the screenings that I came to
Yeah,
and couldn't because he was doing stuff for the play.
yeah, yeah.
Like the Goodman one was a tech rehearsal day, and they just absolutely could not.
Right. Yeah. No, no, he'll see.
So
I'm sure of it. But
yeah.
I hesitate to give out to show people to watch in their own homes because it really is so much better in the theater with other people. It is.
I mean, I'm going to push back on that a little because I
Okay.
have experienced it both ways now.
Uh-huh.
And, and I was telling you a little bit off air. One of the reasons I love this movie, is it is both the movie that I love seeing in the. I mean, I don't like going to the theater where there are strangers and whatnot, but this is a movie that like has enough of that vibe and whatnot that I enjoy going out and being around people that I don't know and enjoying their energy, right? But I also just had it on the background while I was reading comic books last night and like enjoyed just having it as part of my environment. And in some ways I'm pickier about the things that are just environmental to me than I am about the ones that I just sit down and like watch. So I mean I think it really does cross you know it both is big enough and steady enough to be a great experience to be able to watch in a theater and um quiet enough with enough like really great perk up and enjoy this fun minute and then go back to doing what you're doing and spending like 1% of your brain on the movie to be like eminently rewatchable. And like I don't think people value that enough.
They don't value a movie where you can do something else while you're watching it.
I mean, for those of us who are neurodiverse, and there are a lot of us, we have trouble doing
Oof.
one thing at a time.
No, I understand. I do the same thing. I have to work,
Right.
and it eats me up that the only time I pay attention to a full attention to a movie is if I'm in the theater or if it's foreign and I have to read the subtitles. And then
Right.
I can only watch it for so long before I have to get back to work. So I
Right.
understand that. And there are movies that what I want Shank to be, and I feel bad for all the people who are tuning into this who have no idea what we're talking
Well,
about.
go watch the trailer. The trailer will help.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. The trailer will
trailer is up.
you'll, you'll
It's not private.
you'll get a little vibe of it from that.
Yeah,
Uh, but I want it to be a comfort movie. My
it
favorite
is.
are comfort films, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen the Blues Brothers. It's in the
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
Big Trouble
I mean,
in.
that's actually something that I laugh at sometimes when I'm like I told you that my family has a movie club and like sometimes there'll be like comfort movies and that and whatnot and they'll say, "Yeah, I love this movie. I've seen it like 3 times." And I'm like, "You love this movie and you've seen it 3 times? I love this movie and I lost track somewhere in the 300s."
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
people watch movies differently now too. But
right,
I can't tell you the last movie. Well, I can probably. The last movie I've watched more than once that's come out recently. Where I was like,
right.
and I think it was Weapons. I saw that in the theater
Okay,
three, maybe 4 times, and I've
right,
I've watched it a few times at home. And it's those movies where the movies that I end up watching more than once now are the ones that I have to share.
right,
Oh, you haven't seen it? I'll go with you. You know.
right,
Oh, I'll
right.
go see that again.
Well, and Shank falls into that category for me too. Like, I mean, I went alone the first time, though I tried to find people to go. I literally bought 10 tickets the second they went on sale to go the second time, just assuming that I'd find as many people as I could find.
And did you?
I didn't find all 10.
Where were they? Boy, those other
Well,
times
a
out.
couple of them were in tech for the play that you're doing set
Oh
design
yeah,
for, and and a couple of them had something going on at the comic shop that I need you to come out to. And and I didn't manage to get anybody to come in from out of town, though I tried.
Well, it'll uh, as far as like near future, I don't know. I'm worried about renting out the theater again because I don't want to oversaturate. I mean, it needs to have
Right.
time to breathe and people to, you know, and nobody
No,
wants
I
to
think you're at the point on this movie where you should be having people invite you to come. You shouldn't have to pay to rent out the theater.
go. Well, that's in the works with a
Yeah.
theater that will go unnamed for the moment until things
Right.
solidify, but that could be in the fall. And I've submitted it to some film festivals. It's
That's what I wanted to hear.
yeah, yeah. I mean, film festivals are weird though,
Yeah.
and a movie like Shank is, it has to be a specific type of film festival
Yeah.
for it
Yeah.
to work. And it's for some weird reason, the fact that it was made on nothing seems to bother people. That it's they
You
want
know,
to
I
know the
mean,
budget of something, and when you tell them
eh,
they made it for like maybe $1,000, you know,
well, like you need to blow up the budget by making the actors' time like gifts of hourly wages. So like however long the actors were there, it was
oh,
like $50 per hour, and they just gifted it to you, but that doesn't mean it wasn't part of the budget.
I guess so. Yeah, nobody but got paid a dime for this movie, myself
I
included, and
Yeah.
but that's part of the beauty of it and maybe I said this at one of the Q&As, but this is a movie where everybody involved, and it's a fairly big cast,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not small.
everybody involved in that movie just put their faith in, they
Right.
they had no idea what they were signing up for. And
Right.
they just said, "Oh, you want me to put on a motion cap suit with two little ping pong balls on it? Okay, I trust you." And
You're gonna have what come out of my stomach? Sure.
yeah, we're gonna go to the woods, and I'm gonna be dressed as who? You know, so all these folks just that's what really moved me watching it. And when I was toward the end of the editing process, and I was watching it and seeing it kind of come together and breathe in a way that it was unexpected, when
Right.
I just realized, like, wow, all these people just put their trust in me, and it could have been so it could have been really awful, and they
Right.
still did it, and just without question were like, okay, you want me to? I know some karate stuff. I'll come out and do it. You know, I'm just gonna wear my Bears t-shirt though.
Right. Right. I,
Okay,
I,
yeah, come on out, man. Let's do it. You got time on Thursday? And
well, and I know we're running tighter on time right now, and I have my traditional closing questions I like to keep at least 10 minutes for.
okay,
Um, but I do want to one more thing that really struck me, well, really two things put together. The first is like just how well you use the city of Chicago, but like the city of Chicago that people who live in and around Chicago know, not the city of Chicago. Like, I mean, there were times where I'm like, do I know that specific house? And I had to remind myself that some of the neighborhoods are really similar. Like
yeah,
the backyard thing, it's like that backyard is so similar to a backyard I know on Artesian that I had to go, no, no, there's this difference and this difference. But it's not like the tree is in the wrong spot because the tree next to the garage is in the right spot. It's just that, like, okay, the fence is not quite the same.
yeah, yeah. Well, that
Um,
makes me feel good to hear because there was a moment where I was like, should I shoot some iconic Chicago moments? Should we go
I
downtown and shoot in Grant Park? And I said, no,
I actually love that you didn't. I
Yeah,
love, I mean, it's like it's my favorite way of seeing Chicago in a comic as well, is when it's like, oh, that's this or that bar,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
They just put it in Chicago. They just set this story in Chicago for the people who know, and the people who don't know, it can still be their city.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
You
love the
know.
fact that it's a very Chicago movie, down to, some of the people's accents and just can't be faked,
Right.
and how they
Right.
talk. Yeah,
But then likewise, like just like sometimes when people who work in animation first make comics, you can see their animation bona fides,
yeah,
that even when they love comics and they make great comics, you can see the parts that bleed over from their animation, right? I can see your comic book thinking in
no,
your
you broke
shots.
up.
I
Oh,
can see what?
yeah, yeah,
Particularly like
absolutely.
the road shots, I'm like, he actually has them at eye level. Most movies actually have them a little like above the car, and you don't
Yeah,
notice it because that's the typical movie shot. But the comic shot is the eye level, and that's where he's at. He's at eye level. You're seeing what you'd see if you were driving down this road, not if you were standing on top of a car driving down this road.
yeah. Well, that wasn't in our budget, so many things are predicated on what is possible, and
But
so you
I,
you try to make them look creative, and
right.
you it's like, not saying that I'm any master chef of filmmaking, but when I always respect people who I don't know how to cook. I'm a terrible cook. Everything I eat is strictly utilitarian, unless I'm going out to eat somewhere. But if I'm
Right.
at home, it's PB&J or quesadillas, and
Right.
and so I'm always mystified by people who are able to look in a cupboard and see what they have and make something amazing. Those are the people who I'm like, wow, you're an alchemist. You all you have is flour and this thing over here, and this is amazing. This is an amazing meal. And I try to do that with what I have
Right.
in the filmmaking and working with no budget. It's like, okay, well, we can't do that, but what if I just lean outside of the car and
Well, this makes me want to go to a couple of things from Robert Rodriguez. Um, and I always forget with the filmmaking stuff, whether it's from his book Rebel Without a Crew or whether it's from any number of commentary tracks, special features, whatever. But one of the things that he'd always talk about is one of the reasons he was able to make movies cheaper and still look good is he didn't have to shoot as much footage. He was able to picture this
yeah,
is what I want in my head. And that's kind of what I'm talking about in terms of your comic
oh
books
yeah,
coming through. Your training is I have to figure out what the angle is on this shot,
yeah,
to draw it to whatever. So I think you're doing some pretty extensive storyboard in your head
yeah.
as you decide how you're going to do something.
Well, the way that
Um,
I used to shoot movies before I could edit, and this is in the early 90s,
right,
where I just had a camera, and the only way you could edit, if you didn't have technology available to you, which I did not, you edit in camera. So you say, all right, I'm going to jump over here and shoot this. Okay, stop. Okay, I'm going to run over here and film this moment. And you have to keep it all in your head. And I think
right,
absolutely visual storytelling in comics has certainly given me a leg up in that aspect, because I kind of know what's going to work. And if something needs to be punched up, or if it's a tense moment, okay, let's go to some weird close-ups. And again, it's a lifetime of being a film lover. Well, how would Sergio Leone do this? How do I match a wide shot with an extreme close-up? Okay, what if Scorsese, the camera's always moving? Do I want to do that, or do I need to sit back and do a wide Kubrickian shot, because and hopefully all that stuff, my friends, they a lot of them are very film literate. Um, some of them don't care, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get on the floor now and shoot up at you. So you just stand here, and they okay, I'm gonna get real
Right.
close to your face because I don't have the right lens to shoot from a distance. So I'm gonna get
Right.
put the camera right in your face now.
Right.
Okay, I don't like that, but whatever, and yeah,
Well, just say the lines and be done.
right, yeah,
It's only 35 seconds of trauma.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the other Robert Rodriguez thing, the cooking thing, one of my favorite things about some of the deluxe versions of his DVDs from back in the day is, as well as like his 10-minute film schools, he would have 15-minute cooking schools.
Oh yeah,
Like his theory was, as a man, it was important to cook two or three things really well to impress women, but that didn't mean you had to be a cook. That meant you had to like come up with two or three dishes and learn how to make them.
yeah, yeah.
And he
I think
taught
that
us how to make like breakfast tacos and I
I
forget
think
what
that
else.
probably works for any gender. If
Right.
you can do two or three good dishes, you can fake your way into the rest of it. Yeah.
Right. I
I,
mean, he even showed off apparently at his house. He had like a laminated menu of the five things they knew how to cook. So when it was his turn to cook, they could just pick.
yeah.
So anyway, two closing questions. The first one, I don't think I've asked you before because it's my new one this year. This is my fifth year doing this podcast, and I feel like I've entered the twilight zone.
Oh,
The experiences that I get to have, the people that I get to meet, the people who I now consider friends, like just in general, so much of my life right now. If you told 10-year-old comic geek me or even 35-year-old comic geek me that this was going to be my life, I would have been like, yeah, fuck you, you're out of your mind. But
okay.
but I found that like everybody in comics has, I mean, you've talked about it a little here with the movie. Oh, everybody was willing to just trust me. Everybody in comics has similar things where they look back and they go, "Oh, wow, that was me in that room," or "That was me that did that," or that was me in some scenario that even looking back, there's just that little element of surrealism that's, wow, I got to do that. So I started collecting stories. Tell me a moment that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't devoted your life to comics and or the arts. Um, that still just kind of has you going, wow, I got to do that. And you can't cheat and say I got to make a movie because that's what the whole podcast is about.
I think it's mostly the people that I've been able to meet because of the work that I've done.
Yeah.
And I think those are probably the moments where, I don't get super starstruck by people generally, you know,
Right.
especially when you see them up close. You're like, oh, okay, that guy has big pores on his face,
Right.
or, or I'm taller than this person, whatever it is, they're just people. And I'm just a person too. So I don't
Right.
get starstruck too often. But on occasion, I will find myself in the company of people whose work I tremendously respect. And I have absolutely had those moments where I've been sitting at a dinner or something like that and look around at the astonishing people that I'm surrounded by and just be like, wow, I am lucky and I don't
Mhm.
know how I got here. I don't know
Right.
why I'm sitting here with these people. And so
But
that,
isn't it cool?
yeah, yeah. I can't believe I'm just BSing with this person that made
Yeah,
this
that
incredible work.
I mean, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
I get to BS with Jim Terry about these incredible works that he made. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is it's just it's so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I don't know if there's any other singular type moment where I was like,
Yeah,
oh, wow. I mean, I know I've had them, but off the top of my head,
right.
I'm
And
Morris.
that's fair.
Yeah, I'm more
Yeah,
astonished that I get to meet some of the incredible people that I do.
absolutely. Um, Final question, and this one you have answered before, but I don't remember your previous answers, so you've got an open slate. Uh, Tell me something you love, preferably a comic, but we don't have rules, preferably storytelling, but again with the rules, but something that you love that not enough people around you have experienced, and you'd really like them to, so that you have more people to talk about it with.
Mm, aside from Shank, I'm assuming. Um,
Oh, well, again, we've been talking about that for a while. And people are talking
yeah,
about Shank.
no, no.
Particularly people around you are talking about Shank.
But I'm talking about Shank. Uh, you know what? Let me see, because that's a
I
tough
mean, I
one.
hear there's a whole podcast that talks about Shank.
Is there? Uh, you
Well,
know,
no, I was
I'm
being
kidding,
meta.
kidding. Yeah,
Okay.
got,
Okay.
I got you. I was with you on that.
Well, I
Um,
was talking about the podcast in the movie, not my podcast.
oh yeah, yeah. The Why Can't It Be True cast.
Right, right.
I think
I
that
was being super meta.
it is that's very meta, and it's meta in so many ways. I think that one thing that I would like to talk to more people about is indigenous horror and a lot
Okay.
of great stuff that's coming out right now. I can probably count on one hand the amount of people that have read the Buffalo Hunter, which I just finished not too long ago by Stephen Graham Jones, and it was not just a good horror horror novel, and not just a great indigenous novel. It was both. It was just a great read. And I don't, it's a fairly niche area, I guess, but you know, I love horror. That I do, and
Yeah.
I love all genres. And so I don't know if there's anything because I'm also lucky enough, as you see from the movie, that I'm a part of many different communities.
Communities.
Yeah, and so there's very rarely where I experience something that somebody I know has not. I see some obscure Indonesian horror film from the early '80s, and one of my friends has seen it, and so there's very few of that, but I think that everybody should watch Reservation Dogs if they haven't watched it. You don't have to be indigenous to love that show. It's a universe. They talk about universal things, but it also is a gateway to a specific type of modern indigenous thinking that I think is beautiful and that many people could benefit from. So I would say if there was anything that I could always promote, it would be to sit through the three perfect seasons of that show.
Well, it just went higher on my list. It's
Good.
been on my list for,
It's going to blow your mind, and I say that without
I don't even think it's the first time that's been the answer to this question, but it just on my list.
okay.
So, Jim, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I know you're
For your
busy. So
persistence. I know that I'm kind of hard to nail down, so I'm glad that you didn't give up on me.
I am just glad that I didn't annoy you, because that's always the balancing act with being persistent. Am I being persistent, or am I missing unspoken cues to leave him the fuck alone?
Well, believe me, I'm direct enough that I will say that
Okay,
what I need.
that's
Yeah.
good to know.
We
So for
haven't
Jim
reached that
Terry,
point yet.
yeah, for Jim Terry, this has been 22 panels. We will see you after the next page.
Thanks for having me on.